Right, step number one with this story is to draw this little square onto our view. We know that if I've got a side length over here of 30, this square is being drawn at a very weird angle. So what I need to do is to try and figure out where those sides are in relation to the center. You can see that I've marked center of the square over there. This distance over here, if you look at it, if I draw a line out to the center of that line, I know that that length over there is 15, and you can see that that angle over there is 45, that angle over there is 45, which means that I've got an isosceles triangle, which gives me a side length over there of 15 millimeters. Right. If I take that 15 millimeters as a circle, I can then draw a little circle going around over here, just a construction line circle. And from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, this thing is set at that 60 degrees. All right. So if I take my ruler off there, just set this thing at 60 degrees, make sure that that's nice and secure, hold that down. I can now slide this thing and I can draw in all of the side lengths that I need. I just need a pencil, which I seem to have lost. I'm just going to draw it here to save some time. Right. There's my first side length there. Slide it out, make a tangent to that circle. There's my second side length there. And I can then draw in these two lines from there to there, which will be accurate. And a side length from there to there. And that is also super accurate there. Right. All right, continuing here, you can see that I've now drawn the front view of this object from my auxiliary view over there. I've labeled it number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and I'm going to place those numbers on that surface over there right up at the top. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, those are on this surface over here. Number 5, 6, 7, and 8 over there. And obviously I've got the apex over here as 0. Right, the next thing that I'm going to look at is where this cutting plane is cutting through this thing. Okay, to find that, well, I'll look at this line over here. It is 0, 5, and I need to find where that point is on 0, 5. How do I do that? I'm going to take a line coming from where it cuts across to that point over there, and I can label that point. I'm going to label it A, okay, and I'm going to label that point A over there. Right, over here I can see that it is cutting through on this square surface over here. So I'm going to take a line coming back from there, and it cuts through on this square surface over here at 2 points, okay? That is between 7 and 8 and 7 and 6. So I'm going to label that. I'm just going to label that B over there and C over there. And I will then have B and C on that surface over there. It then cuts this square surface over here. And how do I find that? I take a line going back over here, and that would be cutting between 3 and 4 and 3 and 2. So I'm going to call that D and E. Right. It is also cutting through over here between 6 and 0 and 8 and 0. Right. But how do I find that point? I can't just take a line going back out over there because, well, where along that line should I make the mark? Right. So we've got a little bit of a problem. That can be solved by knowing that this is a regular pyramid, which means that all of these sides are the same length. Now, if you look at this, that length and that length on this drawing, they're not the same, but in real life, we know that that is going to be the case. So what I need to do is to try and figure out where on this line I have that mark. So let's just have a look at this idea. I'm going to take a line. Well, let's have a look at why this is the case. Can you see this little piece of line over here, 0, 5? That is parallel to the XY axis. If I've got a line that is parallel, then I know that this over here is a true length. So I can take a line coming out over here to 0, 5, if I take that back over here onto the auxiliary view, and I take my pair of compasses from that point over there, and I arc it round, you'll see that I have that point on number 8, 0, and the same story is going to be on the other side over here. So I've got a point which I can call, I'm going to call it P and Q over here. P and Q, let's call this point over here P and Q on those two lines over there. Note I'm saying two lines, 0, 6 and 0, 8. They're my two lines, and I've got P and Q. P is found on 8, 0, Q is found on 6, 0. Okay, I've got my eagle looking down on this thing, which means that I need to be able to see that cutting surface over there, which means that I need to remove this part over here. So all of those numbers that you're seeing me circle, all of those are going to disappear, leaving me with the numbers along this cutting plane over here, and whatever's left over, the 3, the 7, the 0. Those are going to still be in my drawing. Right, let's take those points down. I just need to label these 2 points, which I forgot to do. That is D over there, E over there, and that was A. Let me put it in green. There we go, A over there. Right, let's take these points down. Note I'm taking them down at 90 degrees to the cutting plane. That is because I'm looking down at 90 degrees to my cutting plane. Okay, there are all the points over there. I'm going to drop those lines down off the cutting plane in red, but note I've still got these points over here. Number 3 is still in the drawing, number 7 is still in the drawing, and number 0 is still in the drawing. Right, I'm going to suggest that whenever you can see that number 0 is in the drawing, place that first. It just gives you a good starting point to work from. There we go. There is point 0 from the XY axis. Find point 0, come down to new XY axis, and mark that off in your drawing as accurately as you can. There we go. There is point 0. Right, I'm going to take the other points over here, number 3, okay, and 7. You can see that they are in line with point 0. So I can take a line coming across from point 0 over here, and I have got point 7 at this point, and continuing across, I've got point 3 at that point over there. So there is 3, there is 7, there is 0. Right, let us take down the cutting plane now. There we go. Let's start with point D over here, follow it down. There is D over there, continue down, mark it off over there. That would be point D over there. Point E, that's that measurement from there to there. Bring that down into the drawing, mark off point E. There is point E over there. Let's come across over here. We have got point B over there. Find point B, come down over here. There is point B over there. Point point C over here. There's point C. Find point C, bring it down, mark it off over there. C. Then we come over here to point Q over there. Find point Q, bring it down over here, mark it off over there. Point Q, point P, bring that down, mark it off over here. There's point P. And last one is this point over here, which is point A. There's point A over there. Find point A, bring it down, mark it off. It should be on that same line as O, which I have got. Right, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to link up. I can see that I've got a line which is going to go, just going to draw it in over here so that you can see it. From A to Q, definitely I've got a line. From Q to C, got a line from C to E, from E to D, from D to B, from D to P over here. From B to P, and from P to A over there. You can see my cutting plane in over there. I should end up with basically the same cutting plane. Sorry, my coloring in was not very good there. There's my cutting plane happening over there. And I'm going to end up with basically the same shape over here in my view. Right, so let's do this. A to P, A to P, P to B, B to D, D to E, C to E, Q to C, Q to C, and A to Q over there. There's my cutting plane done. Right, what do I have? Do I have a line going from 3 to E? Yes, I do. Okay, so I can draw a line going from 3 to E. Do I have a line going from 3 to D? Yes, I do. So I can draw a line going from 3 to D. Right, do I have a line going from A to 0? Definitely I do. And I will have lines going from P to 0 and from Q to 0. You can see those lines happening in there. And I think that is more or less everything that I need to find. That's that. 3 to D, 3 to E. That's that. 7. I've got lines going from 7 to C, and 7 to B. Okay? You can see that I've got a line going from 7 to B and 7 to C over there. And you can see that in this view and in that view, which means that I can draw it into this view over here. 7 to C, that would be hidden detail. If I'm looking down as my little eagle over here, you'll see that that is underneath the thing, so that needs to be done as hidden detail, and this is hidden detail as well. And obviously there is a line going between 7 and 3 there. It's a point view over there, and it will be, obviously, if it's a point view, it's going to be horizontal to the XY axis as well when you are drawing that in. Right, that's everything that I need, except for, 7 to 0. There is definitely that line still in my drawing, so I've still got hidden detail going all the way from 0, going all the way down to 7 as well. And once I've done that, I can then do the hatching on this thing as fast as I can. Normally we're done with a 0.3 pencil. I'm just going to do it with this pencil that's in my hand to save some time. All right, in this drawing over here, we need to draw the left view as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all find a 45-degree line. How do I do that? Well, I extend this XY axis out until it touches that XY axis, and I'm going to lob a 45-degree line in over here. And that means that I don't need to keep on transferring measurements using the pair of dividers. I know that in my left view, if I'm looking from the left-hand side, I'm going to see that same cutting plane as I had in my top view, and all of these points are still going to be there. So all I need to do is to transfer these points using the 45-degree line up into the left view. Let's start with point 0, take it across, cuts the 45-degree line, draw a line coming up over here, and I can then mark off point 0 over there, mark it as point 0. Right, what other things are on that line? A is on that line. Let's take that across. Take that across over here. There is point A over there. What else is on that line? I've got 0.7. You can see 0.7 and 0.3. So let's take 0.7 across and 0.3 across. There is 0.7. There is 0.3. Right, once I've got those points, let me take P and Q across. Let's find Q over here. Take that across. Take that up. Let's find P over here. Take that across. Take that up. Right, take P and Q across from this view over here. That is Q over there. That is P over there. Right, once I've got that, let's take C and B across. C coming across. B coming across. Take those two lines up. Right, let's find B and C. B over there, C over there. Right, I'm just going to mark them so I don't lose them. Okay, next two, E and D. Let's find E and D, take that across. Let's find E and D over here. Take that across. D, take that across. Take this up. Take this up. What have I got? I've got E furthest away, D closest. See that? D closest, E furthest away from the XY axis. And should be the same in this view as well. Right, let me draw in the cutting plane first. A to P, P to B, B to D. Note with the letters, I know straight away what is part of my cutting plane, and it makes it easier to just make sure that I'm doing just the cutting plane when I've just got the letters to deal with, rather than letters and numbers. And I have now got my cutting plane in place. Now I can look at this thing and I can say, well, if I'm standing over here and I've got this cutting plane in front of me, I can't see these lines coming from 3 to D and 3 to E, so they would be done in hidden detail over here. Hidden detail there. Hidden detail there. I can definitely see this line over here between A and 0. And I will have hidden detail going from 0 to 7. So that would be hidden detail there. I have got hidden detail going from 7 to B and 7 to C. So that would be hidden detail going in over there. Hidden detail going in over there. And I can obviously see these lines coming from P to 0 and Q to 0 over there. And from there, I can just, I've got a little bit of hidden detail going between 3 and 7 over here. And I can then draw in my hatching lines going across to get the cutting plane sorted out there. That's that. Right, the last thing that we need to do is to find the true shape of the cutting plane. And the way that I'd suggest you do that is just detach the page from your board, line your ruler up on the cutting plane. Let's just get that more into the view. Okay, there it is. And at the end of the day, I'm going to then be able to stick it down, and I can then draw in an XY axis up over here, XY axis, and from there I can then label it and take lines coming off all of the points where I cut on the cutting plane. A, P and Q, B and C, and D and E over there. I can then transfer those points very quickly using my pair of dividers, using these measurements over here, I'm going to start with D over here, find D over there, bring it up over here, mark it off, label it, D. Let's go to E. E. Continuing here, let's transfer E over there, transfer it onto this from E, going up here, mark that off, label it as E. Right, let's go to C. There is C over there. Find C over here, take it up over there, mark it off. There is C. Let's go to Q over here. Measure off Q. Find Q over there, take it up, mark it off. Q. Go to A over here. There's A. Go find A over here. Mark that off. There's A. Go to D over here. There is, P. It's P, not D. P. Go and find P. Pop that in there. Mark that off as P. And the last point that I need is B over here. There's B. Find B. Go up over here. Mark it off. And there is the true shape of the cutting plane as soon as I draw these lines. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There. Over there. And I can then draw in this story over here. Over there. And I think that I might have made a bit of a blups over here with the measurement of one of these things. D, let's just find D. Yeah, you can see that I made a mistake over there, transferring D. There is D, and I can then transfer that over here. And I need to just rub that part out that I made the mistake. How did I know that it was a mistake? Well, you can see that this thing would be symmetrical, and that would have been a problem. So here I go. Let's just do these lines going across here as fast as I can. And that I should also label that view as the true shape of the cutting plane AA. There you go. That's that drawing finished, and it would look like that on your board.